Welcome to the Memory Bank, a quiet corner of the channel where we take a closer look at the forgotten shelves and nostalgic side streets of the Star Wars universe. Today, we're opening up Darth Vader's Activity Book, originally published in 1979 by Random House. From puzzles and mazes to cutout masks and trivia challenges, this vintage paperback offered kids of the era a surprisingly creative way to spend time with the Dark Lord of the Sith. No force powers required. Let's dive in and see what Darth Vader had in store for a generation of fans who were just beginning their galactic adventures. Our first mission in Darth Vader's Activity Book is part coloring challenge, part Jedi mind trick. The page dares us to come face to face with a Jedi Knight who gave in to the temptations of the dark side. If we're brave enough to accept, we're asked to write his name in the space provided. Then, using a black crayon, marker, or maybe even a bit of digital trickery, we're supposed to shade in every part of the drawing that contains the letters of his name. Once that's done, the book tells us to flip the page upside down. So let's start by identifying the name. This is 1979. Star Wars is still fresh in everyone's minds, and there's really only one figure who fits the bill. A Jedi who fell to the dark side? Of course, it has to be Darth Vader. So let's go ahead and write that name in the blank, just as the directions say. Rather than shade each shape one at a time, we'll let the Force, or at least a little creative flair, guide us. Let's reveal what's been hiding in the shadows. A quick flip, and there we go.
I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan.
And just like that, the shadows give way to a familiar face, Darth Vader revealed. A clever little puzzle, especially for young fans back in 1979, and a great way to kick things off. Let's turn the page and see what challenge awaits us next. Looks like it's time for a Lightsaber Duel. This lets us recreate the legendary duel between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi as a hands-on papercraft. We're asked to trace the rectangle and figures onto thin paper, cut it out, and fold it along the dashed line. A short piece of string gets taped inside, then the whole thing is sealed shut. By twirling the string between our fingers, the duel comes to life. Lightsabers flashing with every spin. A simple but clever activity for anyone who wants to give it a try at home. Looks like we're heading to the Death Star. This activity is called Guard Death Star, and it's a puzzle game designed to test how efficient we'd be as Imperial guards, changing posts under Vader's watchful eye. No pressure. Here's how it works. We'll need 4 pennies, placed on posts 1 through 4. The challenge is to move them, one at a time, to posts 5 through 8, using only the dashed paths and in just 7 moves. Each move must be a straight line, and while we can revisit old positions, every move still counts. It's a quick thinking test of strategy and spatial reasoning. No lightsabers required. Think you can pull it off? Let's give it a try. Using the Force and the answer key, let's walk through a winning set of moves. Here goes. 1 moves to 8, 4 moves to 5, 5 moves to 7, 2 moves to 6, 6 moves to 4, 4 moves to 5, and finally 3 moves to 6. And just like that, we've successfully guarded the Death Star, at least according to one of the solutions in the back of the book. Interestingly, there are actually 4 different ways to solve this puzzle in 7 moves. Another version follows the order 1, 2, 4, 5, 3, 6, and 7. So if you enjoy a challenge, there's more than one path to Imperial efficiency. Now, let's turn the page. Our next activity is called Lightsaber Acrostic, and this time it's Obi-Wan Kenobi who's guiding us. We're given a series of clues and we need to fill in the missing word for each one. Then, by matching each letter to its numbered space on the lightsaber below, a hidden message from Obi-Wan will be revealed. It's part wordplay, part Jedi wisdom. Let's see what he has to say. Let's take a look at the clues. We'll go through them all first, then transfer the answers to the lightsaber. First up, Princess Leia is a heroine and Luke Skywalker is a hero. Next, the merry month of May. A young man, such as Luke Skywalker, is called a youth. The Imperial troops were many, the rebels were few, a game of tic-tac-toe. And finally, to exist is to be. Now let's go ahead and transfer those answers into the numbered spaces and reveal the message from Obi-Wan Kenobi. And there it is. The completed lightsaber reveals Obi-Wan's message, "May the Force be with you." A classic line and the perfect reward for a bit of puzzle-solving Jedi focus. Let's turn the page and see what's next. This one's called Darth Vader Maze. The goal is simple. Start at Enter and make your way to Exit without crossing any lines. Let's see if we can navigate our way through the mind of the Sith Lord himself. And with that, we've made it safely through the maze. No shortcuts, no crossed lines, and hopefully no encounter with Vader's temper. Let's turn the page and see what else he has in store. This next activity is titled Darth Vader Card Game. It's a fast-paced challenge that turns the Dark Lord into the dealer. Let's take a look at how it's played. You will need a regular deck of playing cards and a few friends. Here's how it works. First, take out all the aces except the ace of spades. That card becomes Darth Vader. Then, shuffle and deal the remaining cards evenly among the players. One unlucky person ends up holding the Darth Vader card, but the goal is not to keep it. From there, players take turns drawing a card from the person next to them, hoping to make a matching pair and get rid of cards from their hand. But if no pair is made, you're stuck with whatever you picked. The game keeps going until everyone but one person has gotten rid of their cards. And the last player left, well, they're holding the ace of spades. And that means they're in the clutches of Darth Vader.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
If you'd like to give this game a try at home, all the rules are printed here on the page. For now, let's turn the page and see what Darth Vader has in store for us next. This challenge is an activity called Death Star Rebuses. According to the instructions, the Imperial battle station had many people and things aboard, and if we can solve these puzzles, we'll uncover exactly who and what they were. Let's go through them one by one and see what they're trying to say. Our first rebus is a comb without the B plus the letters P and U plus the word tears minus the A. That gives us computers. Our second rebus gives us star without the A and R, plus the word worm minus the W, add T and R plus the word hook minus the H and K, then add paper minus the P and A, which gives us per. Add it all up and we have stormtrooper. The third rebus gives us a foot minus the T but adds a D. This gives us the word food. This rebus gives us an apron minus the A, the O, and the N. Add the word poison minus the P and the O. Now we have the word prison. This next set starts us out with roof minus the O and the F. Add the word boats minus the A. Once it is all together, we have robots. Rebus 6 gives us ski minus the I and adding a Y, wallet minus the L, the E, and the T, plus the word baker minus the B and the A. When we see it all together, we have Skywalker. Rebus 7 challenges us with a lake minus the L and the A. Then we have knob minus the K and adding an I to the end. This leaves us with Kenobi. For Rebus 8, we have waiter minus the I. This leaves us with water. And Rebus 9 reveals gas minus the S and adding an R. Then add the word bag plus an E at the end. After that, we get garbage. And our final Rebus clue is vase minus the S and the E. Add the word ladder minus the L, the A, and the D. This leaves us with Vader. With all the rebuses solved, we've unlocked a few more secrets hiding aboard the Death Star. Let's turn the page and see what's waiting for us next. This activity is called Escape from Death Star. It's another color-by-code challenge. Just follow the guide, fill in each section, and watch the full scene come to life. Normally, you'd need some colored pencils and a bit of patience to bring this scene to life, but thanks to the power of video editing and a little help from the Force, we can reveal the finished image. Just like that. And now that we've brought the image to life, let's take a moment to appreciate it on its own, without the puzzle lines and instructions getting in the way. just the artwork, as it was meant to be seen. With that last image decoded, it's time to head back into action. And this time we're flying right into the wings of the Empire. Up next is a maze shaped like a TIE fighter. Grab a pencil and chart a course from start to finish, dodging dead ends and staying sharp. These corridors may be tight, but with a little focus, we'll make it through in one piece. Let's give it a go. The Empire may never sleep, but we just made short work of that TIE fighter maze. Now flip the page and prepare for a game that puts your quick thinking and your pencil to the test. It's called Obey Darth Vader, and here's how it works. You and a friend play stormtroopers racing through a network of paths. Your mission? Report to Darth Vader or capture the princess. The order doesn't matter, but speed does. Take turns picking routes and tally up your score once all the paths are used. The highest total wins, but no matter what, Vader always gets the final word. Since we're flying solo today, I'll just walk through a few of the paths so you can get a feel for how the game works. Let's say I choose this path first. Then another. Each path ends at either Darth Vader, the princess, or somewhere else, and each ending gives you a different score. The game ends once all the paths have been used and the player with the highest score wins. With that game complete, it's time for something a little more mysterious. The next page features an activity called Eye Magic, and it's exactly that. Darth Vader's not one to come when called, but with a bit of visual trickery, he might just appear before your very eyes. The instructions suggest staring at the dot on his nose for about a minute, but don't worry, we won't make you sit through that on screen. I'll leave the image up for a few seconds so you can pause the video and try it yourself. A simple image, but a striking effect. Hopefully you got a glimpse of the Dark Lord himself. No summoning circle required. Now let's move from illusion to construction. Our next activity is called Darth Vader Dime Bank, and it's exactly what it sounds like. With just a few basic supplies, including a salt container, some paper, and a bit of tape, you can build your own Darth Vader-themed coin bank. The instructions stretch across the next few pages, so we'll walk through each step together. Our first step is to measure and cut a piece of the black paper to fit around the salt container. Cover the container and tape the paper in place. Next, with a ballpoint pen, trace the outlines of the shapes on page 18 onto the piece of white paper. To transfer the tracings to the second piece of black paper, place them on top of the black paper. Go over the outlines, pressing hard with your pen. The pressure will make the shapes appear on the black paper. Cut out the shapes. Then with a soft pencil, draw heavy lines on the eyepiece and the breather mask as shown. For our final steps, we will fold the eyepiece and breather mask slightly in the center. Then we will fold a long, narrow strip on each helmet side. We've just finished working through the details of a Darth Vader coin bank, carefully adding depth and definition to bring the Dark Lord to life. But now, the stillness of that sculpted stare gives way to a scene in motion. Darth Vader is in pursuit, his TIE fighter locked onto Luke Skywalker's X-Wing in a dramatic space battle. Let's join the action by connecting the dots, starting at 1 and navigating all the way to 131. So here we go.
The force is strong in this one.
That's one fast-paced pursuit brought to life, and without a single line out of place. But now it's time to put the pencils down and power up our brains. Turning the page, we shift from intergalactic action to a classic challenge of logic and recall. This next activity is titled Death Star Puzzle, and it's a crossword that puts your Star Wars knowledge to the test. I won't be solving this one on screen, but I'll leave both the clues and the puzzle visible for about 5 seconds. So if you'd like to try it yourself, feel free to pause the video and see how many answers you can find. Once that time is up, I'll reveal the completed puzzle. Here we go. And now the reveal. A clever little puzzle, and a good reminder of just how much there is to remember from a galaxy far, far away. Turning the page, we leave logic behind and land in something a bit more lighthearted. This next activity is titled Star Wars Doodles, a small collection of quirky and creative sketches. There's nothing to solve or complete here, just a few fun drawings to enjoy. Let's take a look. Jawas watching Stormtrooper parade. Stormtrooper lost in a snowstorm. 2 Jawas having a heart-to-heart talk. And a snapshot of Chewbacca taken by Jawa. Just a few fun sketches. Playful, silly, and drawn with a sense of humor that's clearly from a galaxy not so serious. Let's turn the page and get back to business. This next activity is titled Make Your Own Maze, and it's a 2-part challenge that puts you in charge of Princess Leia's escape. First, we'll connect the dots, all 74 of them, to build the layout of the maze. Once that's complete, we'll try to guide Leia from start to exit without crossing any lines, using a different color for her escape path. So let's get started by connecting the dots. With our maze now complete, it's time to navigate the path and rescue Princess Leia from deep within the corridors of the Death Star.
Looks like you managed to cut off her only escape route. This is some rescue! You came in here, didn't you have a plan for getting out?
With Princess Leia safely rescued, our next mission takes a delicious detour. Somewhere between strategy briefings and lightsaber duels. Even rebels need a snack, and what better treat than freshly baked Death Star cookies? This delightful recipe comes straight from the Galactic Kitchen of 1979, inviting young Star Wars fans to mix, roll, and bake a batch of cosmic confections shaped like the Empire's ultimate weapon. Let's take a moment to look over the ingredients and instructions. You can pause here if you'd like to give them a try yourself. And now, as we turn the page, we'll reveal the second half of the recipe. Just in time for preheating your oven to 375 degrees. Just be careful. These might disappear faster than the Millennium Falcon on a smuggling run. From the warmth of the kitchen to the cold corridors of the Death Star, it's time to brush the cookie crumbs off our tunics and turn the page, because Darth Vader has something far more cryptic in store. This next activity dives into the world of secret transmissions and coded messages with something straight from the Sith Lord's personal playbook, Darth Vader's Code. It may look like a simple tic-tac-toe grid at first glance, but don't be fooled. Each frame, each dot holds a hidden letter. It's a cipher designed for Imperial orders, and lucky for us, the book offers just enough clues to help us crack it. So get ready to decode a message from Vader himself, and once you get the hang of it, you and your friends might just become secret agents of the Rebellion, or the Empire. For our purposes here in this video, let's start cracking that code by placing it through the central computer. Message decoded. Darth Vader's chilling command is clear. The rebel base must be found and destroyed. It's a stark reminder that behind every coded order lies a galaxy at war and a battle of wits waiting to be won. But not every challenge in this galaxy is about grand strategy or encrypted transmissions. Sometimes it's the little things that go missing, things like cloaks, boots, and maybe even a little common sense. As we turn the page, we enter a section fittingly titled, They're Lost. Here we'll help a few familiar faces track down their missing gear, one word at a time. These quick change challenges ask us to shift letters step by step, transforming one word into another, all in the service of restoring order to the Empire's wardrobe. Our first challenge involves Darth Vader, who seems to have misplaced something rather iconic. Darth Vader thinks he's lost his cape, but it's right in front of his eyes if he'd only take another look. Let's see if we can help it appear by turning the word lost into cape in 4 moves, changing one letter at a time to form a new word each step of the way. Let's start by turning the word lost into last, last into cast, cast into case, and lastly, case into cape. And there it is, Vader's long-lost cape. Moving on to our next challenge, we have a stormtrooper who's lost his boot. He might get it back, if only he knew how to use his lucky star. Let's see if we can help by turning the word star into boot, changing one letter at a time to form a new word with each step. Let's begin by turning star into soar, then soar into boar. Next, we change boar into boat, and finally boat into boot. And just like that, the stormtrooper has his boot back. With both cape and boot recovered, order is restored, at least for now, but our next mission is far more dangerous. It's time to turn the page and face the Empire's ultimate weapon. This final challenge is titled Destroy Death Star, and it calls for precision, nerve, and a little bit of luck. The objective? Use your pencil to fire from cannon A or B, close your eyes, and draw a line straight to the target, an oval with a star at its center. Just be careful. Obstacles lie in your path, and if you hit more than 3 of them, the Death Star survives. Now, for obvious reasons, I won't be attempting this one on video, but we can still enjoy the thrilling climax when the shot does go through. That never gets old. There's something endlessly satisfying about watching evil go up in smoke. And with that triumphant blast, our journey through Darth Vader's activity book comes to a close. From secret codes and scrambled words to cookies and capes, this vintage gem offered a playful peek into the lighter side of the Dark Lord's empire. Thank you for joining me on this nostalgic adventure. I hope you enjoyed revisiting this quirky corner of classic Star Wars history, where imagination met Imperial mayhem on every page. If you had fun with this exploration, be sure to check out more treasures in the memory bank, where we uncover the rare and extraordinary stories that continue to make the Star Wars universe so unforgettable. Subscribe for more one-of-a-kind adventures. Until next time, may the Force be with you.